Our world is transforming. Climate change is already happening. No one knows what the future holds for us and the future generation. Here's what we can expect in the next 10 years. Fossil fuels we burn today load the atmosphere with carbon dioxide and methane, which trap heat from the sun. Satellite images shows ice sheet melting in northwest Greenland, which is an irreversible path. The significant meltdown makes it difficult for ice sheet to regenerate. This leads to more sea level rise as predicted by the US National Climate Assessment, by an average of 0.3 to 0.6 feet globally by 2030. Rising sea levels have already threatened cities like Miami, Jakarta, Venice, Lagos, and New Orleans. Extra warm rising sea levels fuels hurricane and surging tides that will become slower and stronger, having more time to cause huge destruction. Over the century, the frequency of most damaging hurricanes have increased 330%. Warmer oceans and atmosphere hold more moisture, causing intense flood. The melting ice could release ancient microbes that people have never been exposed to and thus have no resistance to. Worse still, diseases such as malaria, dengue, cholera, respiratory illnesses, and malnutrition ensues. Climate change comes with shift in precipitation patterns accelerating wildfires. The ocean is absorbing extra 93% heat, causing corals to bleach, expelling algae living in its tissue turning white, while fishes in the oceans loses its biodiversity. The World Bank stated that climate crisis will push an additional 100 million people into extreme poverty. In the face of climate change, we are not ready for sustainable food resources. Food becomes more expensive, especially in sub-Saharan African countries and also Southeast Asia. Civil unrest, people moving in search of food and higher land to live, while nations are keeping their resources within their borders. Public facilities and restrooms are coin-operated. Battles between the rich, who are willing to pay for as much water they want, while others demand for equal access of water. Everyone stays inside dreaming of air conditioning, while some lie on the couch, placing a wet cold towel over their face trying to rest, while farmers are drenched under the extreme heat trying to grow crops that are luxuries for the rich but not for the poor. Ultimately, nobody is free from the impacts of climate change. Wrong decisions that key actors made that led to this catastrophe are numerous. We have seen factories belching greenhouse gases into an already overburdened atmosphere. Forests are either logged or consumed by wildfires and the unprecedented ice melt, but efforts channeled into mitigating this risk are far from enough. Under the goal set by the Paris government, the world would continue to emit 52 to 58 gigatons of carbon dioxide per year by 2030, which means we are still adding up to the existing carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Many countries are not on track anyway. Although carbon dioxide emissions plunges during the COVID-19 lockdown, the carbon dioxide problem is not solved as climate change is a cumulative problem, resulting from emission in the past. Solutions such as nuclear energy and biofuels are not smart solutions. Nuclear energy creates radioactive waste, while burning crop-based biofuels for energy produces greenhouse gas. The European Union's idea of replacing coal power stations with natural gas is not a good solution. Germany, the nation that invested over 500 billion euros by 2025 to unleash modern renewable energy industry, is falling short of its goals for reducing harmful carbon dioxide. This is a wake-up call for governments worldwide that there's too much confidence that renewable energy could do the trick. The short-termism and lack of efforts by the politicians are depicted in gatherings of young climate activists to bring attention to their stolen futures. Global attention and potential solutions are growing, but it is easier said than done. The world's leading climate scientists, the Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change IPCC's urge to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels is a Herculean task, which requires rapid and dramatic changes and cooperation from international, national, and local level. The lack of anticipation and short-term mentality is clear, as researchers and climate movement in the early 1970s have long informed us to stop climate change, but self-interest, greed, and the reason to develop the world for better life led humankind to continue business as usual and overshot where we should be to have a sustainable future. Sitting politicians have a year to grip the new elected position, follow through their agenda, and 2 years to produce results for re-election. Usually with such a short term as politicians, short-term actions are end result to produce results to convince voters to re-elect the leader again. There's a tendency for short-termism to fix ongoing issues, including climate change, to give immediate results over long-term visions. While some are optimistic that renewable energy, controlling the global warming by 1.5 degrees and zero carbon dioxide emission by 2050 are the best solution to stop climate change, some are claiming that climate change has already occurred and is irreversible. The Earth could not get back to how it was in 200 years ago. There's no sugarcoating in my call of action for climate change. It is challenging to stop climate change because it's already here, and it's difficult to reverse many of its catastrophic effects. However, let's remain optimistic and use our scientific understanding, technological capacity, and financial means to tackle climate change. To all global leaders, businesses, NGOs, and every citizen, let's unite. Not only at international but also from national, local to individual levels to mitigate climate change and reduce carbon emission within the next 10 years before I'm old enough in my early 30s to do office as the Prime Minister to continue the leap to sustain our beautiful planet to be a better place for you, for me, for our children, and our future generations. Thank you.